This is the Randi Rhodes Show on 960 KNEW and online at 960KNEW.com.
Gather around the radio, children. It's time for BS News for this Monday, the 21st of May, 2012, and away we go. Dateline status update. Facebook billionaire Mark Zuckerberg got married this weekend. Congratulations. The ceremony was slightly marred when everyone started laughing uncontrollably as the preacher said the "for poorer" part of "for richer or poorer." Yeah, right. Dateline, the North Face. A 73-year-old has become the oldest woman ever to climb Mount Everest. When asked why she did it, the woman replied, "Because it's there. And I certainly can't rely on my children to do it for me." Dateline, expiration date. A new study concludes that people everywhere become more religious as they get older. The study's authors attribute this to what they call the increasing anticipation of mortality. In layman's terms, that means you really watch what you eat the day before the Weight Watchers weigh in. Dateline, XXX Town. An article in Men's Health found that Orlando, Florida was the most pornography-obsessed city in America. Results of the porn study angered Orlando residents, mostly because the results kept popping up when they were Googling for more porn. Narrow your search terms, people. Dateline, newly discovered ancient Mayan murals contradict the Mayan 2012 doomsday theory because it refers to events the Mayans believed will not take place until many thousands of years in the future. Like, for instance, Mitt Romney releasing all of his tax returns. Finally, Dateline out with a bang. A 67-year-old man died during a lap dance at a Texas strip club. The man's family said he will be given an open casket funeral. It's not what they want, but they weren't able to close it. There's an eye worm for you for the rest of the week. BS News for Monday. Have yourself a great week.
Oh, my God. Oh! So I'm comparing these two Florida stand your ground cases. The George Zimmerman case, where George Zimmerman was obviously pursuing and was the aggressor. And then the case of Marissa Alexander, who... This is a woman who has an MBA, had just had a baby 9 days before this happened. She was working for a software company. She was estranged from her husband, Mr. Rico Gray, had a restraining order against him, and went to their former home where he did not live any longer to retrieve her clothes. He enters the house. She flees through the garage to get in her car, realizes she doesn't have her car keys, gets a gun that was in, apparently, her car, shoots it at the ceiling. The prosecutor, the same prosecutor, Angela Corey, that is supposedly prosecuting George Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin case, charged her. She claims stand your ground self-defense. The judge tells her, you could have run outside the house. You could have escaped. I'm sorry, but that's just not part of the stand your ground law. There's no obligation to retreat. That's what makes it so different. And then Angela Corey offers her a plea deal that would have resulted in 3 years in prison, but then she didn't have to go to trial. She believed she didn't do anything. Her husband wasn't injured in any of this. And she was defending herself against a guy with whom she had a restraining order. And she did not get the stand your ground defense. She did not get the immunity. She went to trial. The jury deliberated 12 minutes, convicted her, and under the 1020 life law, she actually got 20 years. Now, you think about this for a brief moment. If you did something, if you didn't do something that you were charged with, would you plea deal? Would you make a deal? No. But if you did do something, you take that deal, knowing that 20 years would be the mandatory sentence because they'd find you guilty because you did do something. But if you didn't do anything, why would you take a plea deal? You'd go to trial and you'd say, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. My husband isn't dead. He didn't have a scratch on him. I fired a gun into the ceiling. I had a restraining order out. I was afraid of this guy. This guy had put me in the hospital before. This is going to be okay. Why would an innocent person take a plea deal? So basically what the law does now is takes people who are innocent of a crime, they take their chances in front of a jury, and they get the really harsh prison sentence where the guilty person takes the plea deal and gets 3 years for doing the crime. The whole system's broken. Don't you see?